I like this spot. 10 minutes for that. Oof. All right, this is Sports for Real with Coach Hall. We have a little bit of technical difficulties. I was pushing me up against the brink of time, but I had to come on and say a few things about Bill Belichick. As you know, that Hall of Fame voting is up for the next class, and Belichick, with his glitzy resume of 6 Super Bowl championships, several other times making it to the Super Bowl with the Patriots and not winning. He also was a defensive coordinator with the Giants when they won a couple of Super Bowls. And they leave him off the first ballot. So if this guy's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, then who the hell is? Well, that's a rhetorical question because we all know the answer to that. But the thing is, the way he's ended at New England and the way that transitioned into North Carolina with that young girl he's got, people start to look at him different. And it becomes something that has nothing to do with what he's done on the field, that people feel a little bit kind of out of sorts with Belichick. Is it fair? No, but that's what these people do nowadays. Got nothing to do with what you did on the field. Now, there are some people saying that there's no greater snub in any sport, period, than Bill Belichick not getting in the Hall of Fame. I'll almost agree with that. But I will say this, and I've been saying it for a long time. There is no Hall of Fame if Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame. And the man lived and died. He made his agreement, whatever it was. He still didn't get into the Hall of Fame during his life. Now what the Major League Baseball Committee is talking about doing in a special committee set up for next year, he has an opportunity to get into the Hall of Fame. But if you're Pete Rose's family, is this something that Pete Rose talked about wanting after he'd already passed? Don't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. It's kind of like what they were doing with the record books. People play football games and they get mad with the coach and they want to go back and take some wins off his record. Take Bobby Bowden, I think they got him, got a couple other coaches. They vacated some victories. The guys that played in those games, they know who won those games, especially if you just happen to be somebody who got critically hurt in one of those games. You know you played in that game. So whether you strike it out of the record books like it didn't happen, there's no truth to that. So there's no point to that. Just like there's no point into doing what they did with Pete Rose. Gambling, I don't think that man gambled on his own damn games. As a dibbler and dabbler in some gambling, I understand that you're not going to vote or gamble against your own team. You just gambling on the sport, but on your own team. And then now to see the proliferation of gambling across all the sports spectrum, and you still want to keep the man out of the game. There was no greater player overall to me in baseball than Pete Rose. He didn't get in his lifetime. He's probably going to get in after he passes. Belichick, just like Rose with the gambling, they holding this little so-called embarrassing affair he has with this young woman, Jordan. And they don't like the way it looks, so they're going to hold it against him with this Hall of Fame vote. But just like there's no Hall of Fame with Pete Rose, there's also no Hall of Fame without Bill Belichick. And all that money that they pumping into Canton, building up the stadium, expanding the Hall of Fame ceremonies and, experience. Why would I need to go there now if you're telling me that the better players aren't in there? I was always kind of feeling that way anyway, because when you see a guy like Jack Tatum, I always thought that he was in the Hall of Fame. Found out a couple of years ago he was not. He's roasted because of what happened with the Stingley situation. Now, preseason game, could that been something that avoided? Maybe, but not necessarily, because the way that Stingley came across the middle, he came across in an odd, awkward situation or awkward position with his head down. And I don't remember the contact. I remember watching the game, not understanding what was happening, because what was I, 6 years old at the time, 6, 7 years old? I don't remember the dynamics of the situation, but I remember watching that preseason game and going back later and seeing the highlights and seeing how Stingley came in there. He was out of position, and his technique was all messed up, and to hit anybody any kind of way, he might have been seriously hurt. I don't know how Tatum hit him, but it don't take much to get messed up going across the middle. Back then, it's Tatum's job to hit the receiver coming across the middle. Most of the time, they don't be out of position. Challenge head on the way that Tatum hit Campbell that day in the Astrodome. So you look at some of the players now, some of the players in the Hall of Fame, they're not going to step in there and hit nobody like that. Look at Paul Krause. This man's got the interception record, but he won't hit no damn body. Ken Riley was the same way. He wasn't trying to hit nobody. He's the interception man, coverage man. So you got to watch yourself. Let's see, because I don't have much time. Let me see what people are saying. Peace Cannon said Cheat Stone belong in the Hall of Fame regardless of accomplishment. Okay, where's the cheating? Are you talking about a competitive edge, or are you talking about cheating? You talking about that camera gate thing that Belichick got caught in? Okay. What teams aren't trying to get a competitive edge on their opponents? He's got access to the film just like everybody else. Did he need to do that? Probably not. But at the same time, what were the other teams doing that they didn't get caught doing? You'd be surprised. Look at some of the things George Halas did to incoming teams when they came to Wrigley Field. He did all kind of horrible stuff to them. To him, it was funny. It was a gag. Do your research before you start talking like that. So if Belichick don't deserve to be in there, then you tell me who else don't need to be in the Hall of Fame. Not making a whole lot of sense. But I just find it funny. And these institutions of sport always find a way to wreck themselves by doing something like this. Even without the Tom Brady situation, I've heard you said a couple of days ago that he couldn't win a Super Bowl without a Tom Brady. Maybe as a head coach, maybe that could be correct. But he had Tom Brady, so ain't none of that if stuff. Like I tell you guys before, if was Jiff, you better get a sniff, because it just might be Skippy. Don't mean a damn thing. He had Tom Brady. They won those Super Bowls. But even without Tom Brady, he still had a Hall of Fame career as an assistant coach. Unless you remember, unless you forget that he was the defensive mastermind of the Giants defense that won 2 Super Bowls. It wasn't just what they did to Peyton Manning. Look what they did to Jim Kelly. That offense was deadly. They put together a game plan to slow that team down, held them to 19 points. Now, granted, the offense held the ball a lot, which helped their case, but still, they didn't get obliterated like a lot of teams in the NFL were getting stomped by the Bills at that time. This guy here, again, he's definitely Hall of Fame worthy. Now, I don't expect to see what happened to him like what happened to Pete Rose, but the fact that he didn't get in on the first ballot, that's embarrassing for the whole league. And I think the NFL should step in and do something about that. Now, on the flip side of that, baseball can't really do anything about the Hall of Fame. because it's the Writers Association. That's their thing. They started that. So in conjunction with the league, I'm sure the league will have some influence on them, but definitely they can't control it like the NFL could do with this particular situation. So I just want to come on and say a few things about that. I expect that to get rectified. If not this year, definitely he'll get in next year. And it's kind of, like I say, embarrassing that he didn't get in this time, because with all the championships he's gotten, different roles, there's no reason why Bill Belichick shouldn't already been penciled in, fly right through without being voted on. It's common sense, but it's not a common sense world. And these are the kind of results you get. So that's just the way I see it. But yeah, I got to get up out of here. Hopefully we cover this topic a little bit more tomorrow. I'm not getting much of a much response today, primarily because I'm off track with my connection issues, and we'll try again at a later date. So wherever you are in the world, you guys have a great day. And the ones that did check in with me, I appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you're brand new, and catch you guys on the flip side. And if you didn't know, the Steelers will return. And we picked up Mike McCarthy, not the most popular hire, but popularity don't win